What's up, YouTube? My name is Kenny J, the insurance guru, and this is Kenny J TV. Guys, welcome back to another episode of Kenny J TV. If this is your first time, feel free to browse around and don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell for our latest notification. We are dropping a video every week. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back to Kenny J TV. Today we have a very special guest. This is hands down one of my favorite interviews. Just honored to have you here. We have Brisandia Gaither, Bree Gaither here today. She is a top producing real estate agent in Charlotte, North Carolina. How you doing today?
I am doing wonderful, Kenny. I'm actually so excited to be here. It is an honor to be on the Kenny J TV. So I'm so excited and I'm ready for today. Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. So we're going to start off light. And can you tell us a little bit about like your journey into real estate and what inspired you to start like BG Lux Realty LLC?
Of course. Well, BG Lux is my baby. So, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I started off in the tech industry. I went to A&T for chemical engineering. And then I transitioned to Bank of America, where I was there for about 7 years. And I did tech support. I was doing coding. I was doing a lot of that. And I was honestly at my desk like, this is not it. I was
Right.
making 75 grand a year, working with, 50 and 60-year olds. But, I just had something in my mind like, listen, I want freedom. This is not it. I'm tired of asking for PTO. What's my next move? So honestly, I just started reading books. I read, a book a month, and every book had one key thing in common, and it was real estate. A lot of the people that, were rich, they had all these things that they talked about, but one of the key pillars was real estate. So I'm like, obviously, if they're all, getting rich and everybody's talking about real estate, I need to be a part of that pie. Okay. So I started doing my research on real estate. You guys, it literally wasn't supposed to be me as a realtor. I started off as an investor, bought my first property, hired a realtor, had a horrible experience. And I kind of saw how much that real estate agent made. And I said, oh, absolutely not. I'll be getting my license. And I got my license probably about a month and a half after I bought my first house. And, it was up from there for a few years, about 3.5 years. I worked for different firms. I've worked for boutique firms. I've worked for high-end luxury firms, just to kind of get a feel of what space I wanted to be in and what space I wanted to grow in. I've always wanted to open my own business. I never really liked the feeling of being micromanaged. So, a lot of different companies, they operate in that space. And I'm like, listen, I am listening to God, and I kind of waited on that time to say, listen, Bree, it is time to open your own brokerage. So I honestly operated, I had my own systems, I had my own processes from day one. And I realized, like, why am I hanging my license with these people? Why am I paying these fees when I have all my systems myself? And that's how BG Lux grew. And that is my baby. So we get to grow and grow.
I love it. I love it. So you work for bigger firms, boutique firms, and so you know how they operate. So what sets BG Lux apart from other real estate firms?
Absolutely. Well, because I've gained so much experience in different rooms and different areas, I got to shape BG Lux exactly how I wanted it. So, first of all, we have the systems, we have the culture. We are very, very, when I say real, they can call me at 11 o'clock at night and talk about their problems, or we can talk about a contract. I have a very, very safe space. And, outside of that, when it's time to learn and when it's time to work, if the girls or anybody want to come along with me, with my clients, they get to do that. And, I noticed that a lot of companies are not offering that hands-on training. I'm like, listen, I will pick you up or you can meet me here. Let's go see three of my clients. So they get to see how I walk with them, how I talk with them, exactly how I operate in that space. So they're able to soak it all the way up. So that's what sets us apart.
No, I think it's so important. I feel like a lot of times people want to grow teams no matter what the industry is, but they don't want to really put their agents or whoever on game. But how do you really expect to have your team grow or have your agents grow. So I absolutely love that. I wanted to get into like your business, your actual business, not like your business. And I wanted to know like what strategies have been most effective in growing like your business, not even just with you at your firm, but just as a real estate agent. How like what are some effective strategies you've used?
Absolutely. Honestly, I think my number one thing is being able to delegate. Coming from a space of just being able, I can do everything myself. Anything in this business, I can literally do. And I had to kind of get out of that mindset because, you can't scale when you're doing everything at once. So what really changed my business was hiring the help. I have an admin, I have a coordinator, I have interns, I have teams, I have showing agents. I have everybody in place that can, help me operate this business. And outside of BG Lux, accountants, somebody to do everything where, every space in my life, every necessary thing is filled. Where, listen, I have a calendar, I have a structure, I have operations, and I have people in place for those operations. So everything kind of goes through smoothly. So that would be a game changer, delegating for sure.
So how did you know when you were ready to delegate? Because in the beginning, people may not have the capital. Like, how do I know when it's time to, okay, I need to release this and release that?
Honestly, Kenny, when you feel like there are not enough hours in the day, you wake up and you have this big list of things to do, and you realize, like, wow, I was only able to do 10 of those things. It's time to hire people. And, another thing is when it came to the capital, I'm like, listen, you have to actually structure your budget, your business. It has to make sense to you. I knew that, once I was able to make a certain amount of dollars to replace my salary from my job, I was ready to hire other people. I was ready to scale. And, getting out of that scarcity mindset, it's not just spending money, it's actually an investment. So if I hire a team to do my marketing, that is freeing up about 3 hours of my day, right? That is freeing up my 3 hours where I get to go meet my clients. I get to go make more money. And then the money that I've spent or invested, it just gets replaced, right? Because now I get to be in the field more. And once I noticed that my time was getting freed up, I was like, okay, this is working. This makes sense. And you gotta keep it going. You just gotta keep it going.
And your time is so valuable. Like your time can't be replaced, but money can. And I know whatever you're paying marketing or whoever, your time is, respectfully worth more than that. So you're able to make more
Absolutely.
money on the back end by freeing up your time. I wanted to get into like social media. What does social media do like for your business? How has it helped grow and scale your business? I originally found you on social media as well. So I want to hear from another social media guru, how has it impacted your business?
Listen, I love me some social media. Okay. I love social media. I feel like we are in a time where you have to capitalize off of social media. It is free. When you start off, it is free unless you're paying for ads. But it is the easiest way to get in front of thousands of people. I mean, think about that. You are making a post or making a story or making a video, and thousands of people get to see it. That is leverage. So, honestly, 90% of my business is social media. People literally hop in my DMs from a post that I would make, and they say, hey, I want to hire you as my real estate agent. Can you be my realtor? I mean, Kenny, you called me from a social media DM, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I can talk right now because, and outside of just posting, you have to be ready to take the business on. Some people just post and go ghost. Post just to post or post a pretty photo. You have to have that follow up measurement in place. Like, okay, cool. Let me prepare for the DM. Let me prepare for, the calls. You have to set up your systems where you have to turn those likes into conversations. And when those conversations happen, they can turn into business.
No, absolutely. And that's the thing. A lot of people just want to take pretty pictures and post, but people don't really have a strategy when they post. And I see that
Mm-hmm.
whenever you post is always very strategic, which I think is, very instrumental in your success in your business. So I wanted to
Absolutely.
know what's the biggest challenge you face as a business owner, like period, and how did you overcome it?
I would have to say, again, like just trying to do everything at once, right? So when it was just me, of course, I'm able to do it all. I can, create my schedule. I can run here. I can run there. I get to be the business and run the business and be in the business. As a business owner, it's just not sustainable, right? Because something is going to fall short. So, I think my biggest challenge was, knowing that I know how to do everything. Like, I know how I want my brand to be, I know how I want the marketing to look. I've hired, different like VAs and things like that, and they just couldn't quite get it. So I'm like, okay, I'll just do it myself, not realizing like, this is going to take you 2 hours when you need to be in the field meeting clients and getting more business. So that's my biggest challenge, just knowing I can do it all and trying to do it all. But, going from a space of doing it all to hiring the help. And that literally has freed up so much of my time. I have an admin now where like, she's talking to my agents right now, making things for them, whereas right now my agents would have been probably calling me wanting to speak, right? So, just getting over that, always having to be in front of the business and inside the business at all times, from moving from there and to just delegating and hiring that help that we need.
Absolutely. And then when you do have the team, you go from working in the business to on the business, and then you're able to structure systems and just make everything flow a little better. So
Absolutely.
what qualities do you look for when partnering with service providers like insurance agents, lenders, contractors? Like, what are you looking for? So just
I
for other insurance agents, specifically for my channel that want to partner with top producing agents, what does that look like?
Yeah, well, I gotta toot your own horn a little bit, Kenny, because what I look for is people who are people who aren't afraid to get in front of the masses, people who aren't afraid to network, scream loud about their business, people who have a brand.
Mhm.
I meet a lot of providers, and honestly, I go to their page and I can't tell what they do. I really don't know what they do just because they're not loud about their business. If I'm loud about my business, whoever I partner with, they need to be as loud, right? Because we are a team and, we come as one. So I would say networking and branding and, definitely communication. You can have all of that and still lack communication. So, for the forefront, I need to see you. I need to see what your marketing is like. I need to see if we can kind of collaborate. Can we become one? And then once you get my client, is the communication there? Are they chasing you down or are you already being proactive and following up?
I love it. And then kind of piggyback off that question, what advice would you give insurance agents looking to connect with realtors to grow their referral network?
Listen, I would say show up. So, for example, us as real estate agents, we have open houses. I always respect providers that just pop up at my open houses. A lot of agents don't like that because they feel like that's their time to work. I love that because it shows that you are, for one, paying attention to what we're posting. You're bringing value. Sometimes they drop off, cards or flyers. Showing up at these open houses means that, okay, you're thinking about your business as well as adding to my business. Thank you for coming. So open houses, networking events, when you guys are showing up and making yourself known and adding value, that means the most to us, right? Because, again, your time is valuable. So anybody that actually shows up, they win. They win in my book
You
all day long.
dropping gems. Hey, they better tap in. You dropping gems today. Let's see. So how important is it for your clients to understand the role of insurance in the home buying process?
It is very important. Clients don't realize that there's so many different aspects when it comes to buying a house, and insurance is one of the major ones. I had a client that experienced a loss because there was like, and obviously I'm not an insurance broker. That's what I got you for. But there was like something in her insurance policy that, if there was like a flood or a fire, they would only cover up to like 10,000. And she didn't know that. So when, she had like this fire in her kitchen, she literally, it wasn't covered. I think it was about $10,000 covered when the kitchen cost like 25 grand to fix. And obviously she has to pay that out of her pocket, right? And it was because the policy she got wasn't a good policy. So, things like that, when you're buying a home, this is your biggest investment, right? When you go buy a TV, you get that little protection policy on that TV. You need to have the best insurance for your most valuable investment, which is your home. So it's super important.
And I think it's important for agents to understand, like, insurance agents to understand, like, when you're just throwing coverages on the client's policy or referral, a lot of times they will go back to the agent if something happens and say, they gave me this policy just so the agent can know because you build relationships with your clients and a lot of your clients are your friends. So, they're going
Mm-hmm.
to communicate these grievances to you. So don't think, oh, I'm gonna just throw this on there and then nobody's gonna know. Like it's definitely gonna be revealed. Like what's in the dark will definitely
It's
come.
going to come to the light. Listen, it's going, and and this could be 5 years down the line. That's why, it's important to work with quality vendors because, yes, I can refer you to anybody, but it's going to fall back on me at all times. So,
No, I
yeah.
love it. So what habits or routines have helped you stay productive and motivated in your business?
Woo, child. So I have this whole like routine. I read this book and it kind of like breaks down. It's called Ninja Selling, but it breaks down, how you can have a productive day. So, first thing in the morning, I have a rule that my first 30 minutes to an hour of my day, I do not look at my phone. It's just because I need to ground myself. That is my way of grounding and like just being, that's my time to myself, right? So no phone. I don't care what's going on. No phone. 30 minutes to an hour. And then I will do my journaling. So, it's things like, positive journaling, I write things in the present moment. So, a lot of people journal like, hey, I'm thankful for this, or I enjoy doing this. I write things in the present moment because it's a way of like, talking your mind into actually being in that moment. So I remember years ago, when I first started real estate after reading that book, I would write down 100 times every morning. I enjoy having $100,000 in my bank account. I enjoy having $100,000 in my bank account because that was my goal my first year to make, right? And we ain't counting numbers, but when things happen, right? And I can just only give it to that space of journaling. So I'll stay away from the phone for 30 minutes to an hour. I will do my journaling. I will practice gratitude and praise. So, I have faith. I believe in God. So I'm going to pray every day and I'm going to thank him for everything he's done for me and everything he continues to do. So practice gratitude. And then I always read at least a couple of pages of a book because I'm a firm believer in just, getting your mind to continue to work, right? Because, when you stop learning, you stop growing. So I don't care who you are. Everybody can learn something every day, right? So those are just my starting points. And of course, we got to keep this body right. So I love going to the gym. I spend an hour a day in the gym, 5 to 6 days a week. And I've actually lost about like 35 pounds. But, all of those things, those are things outside of work that keep me grounded. And, honestly, it has shaped my entire life. I leave the house positive. I don't have bad days. If days start to be bad, we quickly change those around. I just don't get in those moods because I make sure I am fully grounded for myself, my family, my friends, and my clients. So,
I love
yeah.
any successful person that I talk to, interview, it starts with mindset. And I feel like so many people don't understand that. And when they speak negative over their life, over their business, how do you expect growth when you don't even believe it yourself? You have to really have,
Mm,
you know what I mean, and believe that everything's going to work out. So I love that you said that. And then
that's a
I have
fact.
two more questions for you. What's one lesson that has shaped your approach to business and life?
Hmm. I think a lesson or a mantra that I would go by is, there is no failures, right? There's only lessons. And I like to fail because that tells me that, listen, you were this close, but you just have to tweak this one thing. A lot of people are just scared to fail. I, I am not afraid to fail. Failing is, a lesson or it's growth, and you get to really pick yourself back up and try it again. I've done so much in my life before real estate. I've done credit repair. I've sold weight loss products. I've done like social media for people. You know, I've done so many different things, but it's always been like a selling mindset. And I'm like, okay, well, this didn't work. Let's try something else. Let's try something else until we get exactly to where we need to be, because failing is never going to be an option. You don't fail. You get to try again and get better. And another thing that I go by every day, like, if it can be done, I can do it. If I see it happening, that means I can do it too. I don't care what that is. I have a mindset of, listen, if I see people on a private jet, that means I'll be in a private jet one day. If I see it happening, I know that I can do it. That's just how I live my life. And when you think that way, you just open your entire brain and your entire mindset to you just all the possibilities in the world. So
Yeah.
yes.
And then the final question is, how can people connect with you, your team, and learn more about BG Lux? Let us know where you're licensed, they're looking to buy, sell. How can they get in touch with you?
Absolutely. So we are all over social media. We are on Google, BG Lux Realty. We have an Instagram page and a Facebook page, BG Lux Realty. You know, I have a link in my bio where you're able to book a call with me. My website is breegaither.com, my first and last name. You can also give me a call. My number or information, it may be below. So I'm very direct. If you call or text me right now, I'll likely look at it and pick it up or answer back. So, right now I'm super available because we're in a space of connecting. And, I'm not one of those brokers where you have to book a call with me weeks out. It can be day of, it can be next day. Very direct, because, in this business, I realize that's what the people are looking for. You're not looking for somebody that is like super not available. You need an emergency, you need things done. I'm the person to call, and BG Lux will handle you.
And there you have it, folks. The owner, the CEO, the boss lady of BG Lux Realty. I definitely have to put the plug in there. She negotiated over $30,000 off of my property. This was my personal and exclusive real estate agent. So, guys, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell for my latest notification. Drop some questions below, and we'll make sure that she sees it. All her information is in the description box below. Again, my name is Kenny J, the insurance guru, and this is Kenny JTV.